All right, it's going. Hi.
Recording. Hi. I love you.
Oh, me too. Okay, so just to warn everybody, I may seem like I'm like out of it or depressed or something, but I'm just super relaxed so that I can channel clearly and stuff. So it's kind of like I'm not really here. I'm half here, half not.
Okay.
That
All
makes
right.
sense.
We both had a little bit of stuff that we wanted to share on right now before we channeled, and I'm going to invite you to start.
Okay. First things first, I like to share any information, new information I get about the Sarsar, because I'm still learning. Something that Sam shared with me recently is I had asked him, what is an earth language that is most similar to your written language and how
Hmm.
they write their symbols? Because I seem to remember a lot of things, but I can't ever really remember what their language looks like or looking at it, other
Hmm.
than his name. But that doesn't help me a whole bunch. And Sam said that they're most similar to the Korean written language with the symbols and the lines and the circles. It's just most similar to
That's
theirs.
that's what I popped in because I don't know one language from another, but that's what I kind of saw too. It's almost like stick figures, but with extra limbs.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it.
I asked him, I'm like, are you sure like Chinese or Japanese? Nope. He was adamant it's Korean that
Korean.
it's most like.
Huh,
Not that
that's
it's
interesting.
exact, but
Right.
that's most similar. Anyway,
That's
um,
cool.
did you have something you wanted to share? Because I have a whole shit. I have like a list right here.
You keep going, girl.
Okay. Um, I wanted to talk about how, I have this fear when I see Sam. When you meet, let's backtrack here. So many people, just with extraterrestrials in general, think they're so ready to meet them in the physical, in person, and they get frustrated with how careful extraterrestrials
Hmm.
are with meeting us. And
Hmm.
they feel like, why can't I remember? And well, one, you can't remember because you're the one blocking it.
Hmm.
It's very rarely that an extraterrestrial will block your memories, um, but they can do that. But it's mostly just you, um, and that can be frustrating because you want to remember, but it's just too much for your brain to handle. And you see pictures of them online, but meeting them in person is just so much different and it's so much more intense. And you have this fear that just takes over you without you
Hmm.
wanting it to. It's your biological response, it's instinctual, something that's built into you because you're an
Right.
animal. Humans are animals. So
Hmm.
um, it's your fight or flight response. And lately, I've been working with a woman who's in the Stardust group, and her name is Kristen Barton Stewart. I hope I pronounced her middle name right, or and she's a hypnotist, and she's done a lot of work with a bunch of other members in Stardust to connect with past experiences they had with extraterrestrials and things like
Hmm.
that. But recently, she's been working with me on my anxiety and that
Hmm.
fear I get with Sam. So she set up this whole audio for me to do, and I haven't messaged her about it because I haven't done it a whole lot, but it really has helped me
Oh.
to start. It's just conditioning your brain. That's pretty much what we're working on, is reconditioning it, so that instead of reacting out of fear, which is the
Uh-huh.
natural response, I'm reconditioning it to uh, be calm and relaxed.
Hmm.
And it's going to take a lot of practice. This is not something where you just do the meditation once and then you're good to
Right.
go. No, it's going to take some time to recondition a brain to respond a
Hmm.
different way. But so far, I've been using it for every part of my life because I just live with a lot of anxiety all the time and it just doesn't go away. It's
Oh,
just the
poor baby.
smallest things will give me anxiety. And so and I have to be so self aware because I've lived with anxiety for so long. I have no idea just how anxious I am at all times until I started doing this reconditioning. And I have to do the
Wow.
little exercise she told me to do, which is I put these two fingers together and I take deep breaths, knowing I'll be calm. And I have to do that like almost every 5 seconds of the day.
Wow, girl. I used to suffer from anxiety. I know what it's like. It's horrible. I'm so sorry that you're still dealing with this crap.
Anyway, but so that's been working, and we're hoping that I'll be able to see Sam and remember it because it's not really up to him whether or not I remember, it's up to me. So I'm hoping this will help a lot.
Do you remember? I know you only remember bits and pieces unless your memory's jogged, but
Mhm.
on Silver Linings, when you channeled future me, do you remember what she said about me and my relationship with Avery? In that soon, there wasn't a time
I
frame,
know
but I
you
still,
told me. You told me.
okay, yeah, I'd still lived in this house and I was, with my mans, and apparently I'll wake up and I'll have a sense that he was here. But then some more time passes and it won't be a memory, and I'll remember. Then I'll start to remember that he came. But then at some point it will no longer be a memory. And I kind of feel like the impression I got was that I'll be like half there or something. It won't be completely like it is right now. But I will see him come into my room. I'll say to myself, this isn't a memory, this isn't a dream, this is happening right now, and there he is.
Mhm.
And my own personal theory is that if I'm going to get to that place, there's no way in hell that you're not going to. In fact, I'm sure you'll get there before I do. So if I can do it, you can do it. You
Yeah.
go first.
Another
So there's
thing,
that.
yes, and
Yes.
then leading into that, we're going to be doing a video on, how do I say this gently? Spiritual woo-woo stuff and how do I say this? And how you and I are both pulling away from it.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people who are new to spirituality or first to their awakening, as they say, they always, and this is not a bad thing because you and I were both
What
there.
you do. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's part of it.
you get really into um,
Everything
everything, and
spiritual.
all you care about is expanding. All you care about is jumping to 5D. All you care about is
Raising your vibration,
and
connecting with the other side.
and
It's
yeah, connecting
all about that.
angels, and you collect your crystals. You're all into that, that stuff, and you get to a point where you just don't give a shit anymore about all that stuff. You don't need it in order to feel connected, because for so long, and that's okay that you're there, because for so long you're told you're just a human being having a spiritual experience. But no, you're a spiritual being. You're already spiritual
Mhm.
in and of itself, having a human experience. So when you get to that point, not saying that we're better than everyone and like this is the next level and we're at some level, we're not. I mean, we may backtrack, not backtrack, but we may go
No,
back
I
to,
think so too. Yeah, you can go back and forth. I
yeah.
totally agree with that too. But I do think that it is a natural progression.
Mm-hmm.
And we spoke about this a little bit because I have a friend and she was telling me how she just enjoys being with her baby and doing all her human stuff. And I was kind of like turned off by that. I was like, there's so much out there. There's so much to explore in this other new frontier.
Yeah.
What are you doing sitting around being a human for? But now I realize she's already been there, done what I've done, because
Yeah.
I'm there now. And so even though I know there's woo out there and I can still explore it, I've come to a place where I know that I am growing and evolving spiritually by just living a human life. I came here to
Exactly.
be human and I
Mm-hmm.
want my human experiences and I'm enjoying the fuck out of them.
Exactly. That's where I'm at too.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Right to the T where I'm at. I'm like, I don't need to work on expanding. You're already expanding in
Yeah, you're
just
just living.
existing. Just by
Yeah.
simply existing, you're expanding and you're
So
raising
I
your
feel like,
vibration.
yeah, I used to feel like I wanted to go to the 98th dimension. I wanted to vibrate so high that I became invisible. I mean, that was like my goal. I thought that was the ultimate on the path I was on.
Yeah.
But no, I'm a human. I'm on Earth, and I won't be here for too much longer, relatively speaking. And I want to have all of the human experiences that are offered
Yeah.
to me. And
Honor that.
if I have my head in the clouds, meditating the whole time, I miss out on my human stuff. So
Yeah. Honor your human experience, and it's okay to do that. But it's okay also to just, have your heads in the clouds because,
be anywhere you want. It's
yeah.
all good. I guess that's what we're trying to get at is that, head in the clouds is definitely good. It's part of the growth and the evolution. But if you feel yourself pulling away from that, then give yourself a pat on the back because that's growth too.
Right, because we want people the reason why we're bringing this up is we want people to feel okay with feeling this way. Because I don't resonate anymore with the new age spirituality stuff. I
I
don't.
know. I remember you told me you're like, I gave all my crystals away. They
Yeah.
just don't have the talisman charm that they once did. They're
Yeah, and
pretty.
I'm not into going to a well, I never was into going to a teacher to teach me channeling. I'm like, no, I can do it myself. But I'm not into the whole contacting your angels and talking
I
to
know. I
spirit
don't need
guides and
to.
stuff. I'm like, no, we're chill. I got it all within me. If they want to talk to me, they can give it to me and I'll feel it in my heart and we'll be good.
Yeah, and I've never been into that stuff either, and I couldn't understand why. Because people say you got to read, conversations with God, and you got to do all this stuff, and you got to see this and that, and they send me videos, and I feel like one of the reasons that I have no interest in that is to keep my filter pure for my
Exactly.
interviewing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
people will tell me, "Have you seen so and so's video on this tea?" I'm like, "No," and I'm not going to watch it because it's not to be rude. I just say, "Oh, thanks." But
yeah, I
then,
got my own.
uh,
I've gotten this far without any of those books and
yeah,
videos. I don't need them.
I need them.
But,
People,
and again, we're not judging though, because many people do like them and many people do benefit so much. I heard that Conversations with God is a fantastic book. Just
exactly.
not into it.
Yeah, no. I was into it for like a week and I was like, I got what I needed. Moved on. Yeah, so that's what we're touching on, and we'll do a video on that. And if you don't resonate with it, that's fine. That's just not the reality you're in right now, and there's no right or wrong reality. It just
I'm hoping that we can invite some naked French, what are they?
Yeah, they have to be
Philosophers
naked.
to come.
They have to be
I
naked.
know.
Or else they're not invited.
Plus, I have a burning question for Voltaire.
God, I love that man.
Speaking of, I brought him up, and I know you may have more on your list, but I'm jumping right into my story.
What's up?
My theory. I'm so excited for this, and I talked to Jason Adkins earlier on Silver Linings, and Eric popped in, so I got a chance to validate it. So this isn't a theory anymore. It's a real. But remember how, well, I don't know if you do remember, but with Mariana said that, yes, I did absorb her life. Brothel me.
Okay.
She also said it's going to happen again, but she wouldn't tell me who it is. I figured out who it's going to be.
It's Voltaire.
I forgot his name. Well, first I was like, maybe I'm Voltaire. I was like, I can't be Voltaire because I was alive then too. And I know technically I could be, but that didn't feel right. That one I'm going to absorb is him, my Jean-Francois de Lambert. I'm going to absorb him because this is how I came to this conclusion. Because Voltaire said to me one time, he goes, eventually you would have met me and figured out that we are connected anyway, even if you didn't have this connection with Heather. Because I remember I asked him, why do I love you so much? You kind of remember that? So that stuck in my mind. And I kept thinking I was going to channel him one day. But future me said, you're not going to really be much of a channeler. So that was out the window. And then, on that Wikipedia page of that other me, he's the one, and you're supposed to look for your similarities. And he has an unconventional lifestyle and unconventional relationships. He lives with his lover and her husband. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to absorb this guy. I'm going to grow my balls. And because he's kind of, he had a lot of girls. So
are you going to have a lot of girls too? I'm
going to have at least one. I've talked about that too, but so that's what it is. That's who I'm going to do. And so Eric congratulated me on figuring that out. So now I'm curious because before the other experience, I didn't know what was happening. It just looked like weird flash. It looked like hallucinations when I would see that room change and stuff. So now that I'm aware of it and I know it's going to come and I know my life's going to get even more unconventional than ever, I'm excited for that. So that was it. I couldn't wait to tell you. And it came to me 2 nights ago in one of my, insomnia bullshit sessions. And I started crying. And that's my validation when I'm onto something. Yeah. Good. All right. So tell me what's next on your list.
That's all of it.
Oh, okay.
That's my list. And we'll touch on like the event and stuff after. So the Yip Yips are getting impatient.
Oh, okay. So talk about the Yip Yips. Go.
Okay, so the Yip Yips, that's Kari's name for them, and it's an adorable name because we're all about making everything less fearful, and the Yip Yip sounds like a good name. There was a video caught of them in my hometown, Fresno, and they call them the Nightcrawler, which is creepy. And it's a video that a guy saw on his security camera from outside his house of these beings. They just had a head and 2 legs. And they just walked across his grass. And that was it. And there's so many people who say it's fake. And they're saying, and here's why. And they do this whole video proving it's fake. And then there's people that say, it's real. Here's why. And they do a whole video proving it's real. So it's like, which one is it?
We're going to find out.
So we're going to find out. And I did. And they came in, my spirit team brought them in. And they are the most adorable looking little things in the entire fucking world. I swear to God, I just want to hug them.
I want one.
They love it, and they're very calm. Even when you're giving them compliments, they're very just calm. But when they get excited, they kind of move like this, you know.
Oh
like you can.
gosh.
It's so adorable. They're so cute. Okay, so they have these really big black eyes. It's just all black, and then they have these white, tiny little pupils.
Wow.
And they're very tiny, and their mouths are just like that.
And just a little kiss.
They're just these little circle mouths. They're so cute.
Do they look like
cute.
little cartoon characters? Are they that cute? Are they stuffed animal? I want to hold one.
Okay,
tell me more about how tall are they?
The ones I'm talking to aren't very tall, but they vary in height. So probably the ones I'm talking to are about like 5.5 feet tall, probably my height. Some a little shorter, but there's a group of them, and they all feel like they're men, like masculine energy. So I don't know if there's any female.
Are you trans channeling one today, or are we just talking to them?
No, just talking to them.
Okay.
And they just want to come in for a quick message. And before I wanted to channel them, but they seemed very reluctant. They didn't want to be channeled. And I don't know, they since changed their mind. And they talk through telepathy, so they have that. Okay. And I had asked Sam if they exist, and he says yes. So I have that as well to say another extraterrestrial saying this extraterrestrial exists. Okay, so should I just start asking questions? Are we ready for that, or do you have more to say? Or no, I don't have anything else to say. They're so cute. Oh my God, they're so cute. They look a little different than the videos. They will say, they did tell me that some of the videos are fake. Some people have decided to make their own fake videos, which I think is true. Some people were just trying to prove it was fake by, trying
making
to
a fake one. Yeah. Why do people do that?
Exactly. They're saying that they've been here for thousands of years.
Wow. Do you live here? Do you live in Fresno?
No, not in Fresno. They live up in the mountains near Fresno. They're actually placed in different areas across our globe, and mountainous areas. They like the high tops. They like the trees. They like the shade.
Wow.
They don't like it when it's too hot. They're very white, by the way. Like glowing white. And it looks like, I think they're wearing some kind of, it looks like a suit kind of thing. And it's all a one-piece suit that it just flares out. And it looks like they're wearing MC Hammer pants, to be completely honest with you.
They're going to go to the disco.
Yeah. And they have these little feet. Little tiny little feet. They kind of, I don't know I'd have to draw their feet. They're so cute. Oh my God.
Can I ask them questions?
Yes, go for it.
Okay, so hi Yip Yips, are you comfortable with the name I've given you?
They say, yeah, they're so calm, like a collective is answering. It's not just one, it's all of them. And they're saying, yes, it is, like, it just is what it is. It's kind of like the answer they're giving. They're just like, it is the name that you have given us. That was it.
Do you know the reference it's coming from? It's from the kids show.
They all kind of look at each other, and I think that means no. They're trying to check someone.
I named you after something cute.
Something cute and not intimidating, which is to help humans be less afraid of you. They say, we understand. So they're really just like a hive mind, way more of a hive mind than the Sarsar are. They're just, they all answer together as one. It's like their voices are in sync. It's great.
And how do you feel about us questioning you right now?
It's fine, but they would rather to tell us something.
Okay, I'm ready to listen to your message.
Oh. Ooh. The internet went out for a second, I think, because they got a little too close. Okay, so what is it you want to say? They said, first off, your technology is very poor. And talking about our camera work and stuff.
Right.
And they're saying that we've come here to help what? He's saying please your planet. Erase it? No. Heal it.
Oh, how are you doing that?
They said by teaching humans to love themselves more, and then by that regard, they are teaching us to care for our planet more.
Okay.
They want us to become more in touch with our nature because we've lost touch with it.
They're squeezing my chakra right now. Sorry. Keep going.
Okay. She cries. It's okay. It's a human way of, okay, great. They know. They're like, we know. We know what crying means. And they're saying that when you become more in touch with nature, you just live as a whole better with nature instead of trying to. They want to teach us that. How are you teaching us that if you're not really talking to us?
Yeah.
They're saying we don't have to go to you directly. How we do so is through our thought process. They're saying thoughts create a ripple effect. Yeah. What we do is not only reprimand the damage you have done. They at least try to. Some of it's too far gone, and you will face the consequences. That sounds scary. And they're saying you must, though, or else you will never learn. But they're saying that they send collective thoughts to us, and they're saying it's working because there's more people that are more alerted, more awakened about the planet and its health. And there's some people that are in denial of it, and those people are refusing our thoughts, our responses. And he's saying, but it is okay. In time, they will see it for themselves. When the time has come that their planet is now reacting to the things they have done to it. Mm-hmm. Why do you feel about people who don't believe in climate change? He's saying it is only natural to be fearful of what you don't understand and to reject what you don't understand. Uh-huh. They're saying you have not been alive for that long to truly see the natural flow of your planet and how it operates. They're saying that we've been here for a long time, so we have been studying your planet. Our job is to study planets and their growth and to help facilitate the growth of the planets. Wow. Of said planet that we're on, and to help its natural flow, because sometimes flows take too long. Right now, you have been in a long state of no ice age, no drastic dryouts of any kind, and that's not natural. You're supposed to go through an up and down. Huh. That's how climate change works. That is natural. What is unnatural is you manipulating your climate so that it stays at a stagnant pace that is comfortable for you. And
how are we doing that? How are we choosing to do that?
I don't know. How are we changing that? They're saying through the thoughts around you, but they're also saying your thoughts become actions. So what we are creating is creating that. So not just our technology, but how we are responding to our environment, the things that we do to it, the things we do to put the Band-Aid over the problem. It's saying your people aren't actually fixing the problem. You're just putting a Band-Aid, or they're saying something different than a Band-Aid, like a healing compressor or something like that. I used to say Band-Aid. Over the problem. Mm-hmm. And that's not actually fixing it, and it's just making it worse. So then when the bubble bursts finally, it's going to cause, everything's going to happen at once. It's like a volcano that's about to erupt, and you're just putting a cap on it. You're just putting it more deeper in to stop it, and eventually it's going to have so much pressure, it's going to blow up. That's how they're explaining it.
Great.
And they're saying you will have to face those consequences. But that sounds so scary. They say that is scary. But they're saying that you won't die. Your species will not be eradicated from this climate change. But you will learn your lesson. And that's the most important thing, is to learn
That's why we're here. That is why we're here, is to learn. Uh-oh. Sorry, guys. Keep going. Keep going.
Well, you don't have to take down your silver's lining.
Wrong show. Keep going.
So they're here to fix our planet. So don't worry, your planet won't die as long as we're here. As long as there's still hope, there's still a chance to fix it.
So because you're really hitting home with how powerful thoughts are. What kind of thoughts can we, and I know there's huge ripple effects, so I'm just going to start with Stardust. How can the members of Stardust change through our thoughts? What kinds of thoughts should we be throwing
Put
out?
into action your thoughts. They're saying don't just think about the planet being healed. You can think about it all you want, but until you have put those thoughts into action, nothing will ever be changed. So start
Okay.
recycling more. Throw away trash.
Okay.
Something you see on the side of the road, stop to pick it up. It takes only a few
Okay.
seconds, and it's not about you having to stop. Don't think about, oh, I am in a rush. It's not about you being in a rush. It's about your planet, and it's about the collective. It's about your children. It's about your family. It's about your friends. And they
Okay.
say your fellow brethren. It's about them. It's not just
Okay.
about you and your inconvenience. If humans thought more about each other versus themselves, then you would be a lot more at peace and your planet would be a lot healthier. And they're saying that this is a lesson that we all have had to learn.
Okay. So
Uh,
your native planet, did you have a similar?
they said yeah, we did. And we learned through a collective tragedy. I was going to say tragedy.
That's how I spell it.
Yeah. Yeah, right? I'm like, you learn through a collective tragedy how to become more of a collective.
Wow.
But with humans, it's almost as if you have a short-term memory and you forget what it's like to be together once it's over
Interesting.
and you have healed.
Do you think that most of the alien species that are on our planet is because their planet has become inhabitable in some way,
No.
or is it just like a nice place
It
to
is
live?
a nice place. He said your planet's a very beautiful place and it's a beautiful home that we want to all keep safe because, again, we've surpassed the thought of it just being about us. You'll get to a point where it'll stop being about just you as an individual and being about the human race as a whole.
Okay.
And then you'll get to a point where it's not just about the human race, but all the races.
That's
So it
cool.
comes in steps. He said
Okay.
this is my thought, and they said this is absolutely true. Before humans, and this is me saying this, not them, but they agree, so they're
Okay.
saying to say it. Before humans, we would be us against them, or not us against them, but I against the idea of them.
Everybody. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had no sense of tribe at all. It was everyone against each other. And we have evolved since then to be about us and our tribes. And now our tribes are about nations, our select group of people, races, ethnicities. Those are different types of tribes we have now. But now it's turned into we need to evolve away from us versus them, tribes against other tribes. And we have yet to overcome that. And they're saying absolutely. So we'll eventually get to a point where it's not about us versus them or us versus, but it's going to be about a bigger us, the collective humans, against a bigger
Yeah.
them. And then we'll eventually get over that. It's just all steps, and we'll get
It's
there eventually.
evolution. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sometimes you get guilty and fearful, and you feel guilty on behalf of all of humanity. Sometimes, you know what I mean? Humans suck, man. But when you don't be so hard on yourselves, because this is a place of learning and growing. And if everything was already perfect, we wouldn't come here to have these experiences. And again, God doesn't judge about anything. But like Grandpa Cayetano said, we're here living on it right now. So take care of it.
Yeah.
Take care of your shit. Yeah.
They're saying, they said to leave it on a more solid note. I'm like, a solid note, like a positive note.
Okay.
Because they said that they felt like they're just giving the viewers just a kind of like a reprimanded, like a slap on the wrist.
Right.
They're saying we are here to help. And they found that your viewpoint where you're just saying about us learning lessons a very interesting concept. I don't think that's something they believe in, though.
Oh, really? That's okay.
So what's a positive note you can leave on? We know we're shitting on the planet. That's a given. They're saying, yes, do small things. We're here to help. And we just want you to know that we are here and we have been here and we'll always be here to help. So they're saying to call on us when you need help with feeling compassion for your planet. Will send you
Okay.
positive collective thoughts. More like giving you encouragement, support to make you feel, I guess, pepped up to do
Okay.
your
Yeah.
part.
Inspire.
Yeah.
Help. They'll help us with our inspiration to be do-gooders and take care
Right.
of
But it's
things.
up to you. We can't fix the problem for you. We can try, and we have been. But we find that helping the people who actually live on the planet, who encompass the entirety of the planet, which humans do, it helps a lot more to fix it.
Okay.
But
All
they're
right.
saying the human race will not die. It will not perish amongst this climate change. But that should not keep you from still trying to work to make it healthier, make it better.
Right. Because again, like Grandpa says, we have to live in it. It doesn't matter if this is just what's that word? Oh, what's that word for something fake? Hologram.
Hologram.
It may just be a hologram according to God and those on the flip side, but I see, feel, experience it all, and I want my experience to be the best it can be. And if my planet's all fucked up, it can't be so.
They're saying all things are real if you feel they are real.
Yes.
And they also wanted to say how some people will say, well, I don't just think about myself when they're saying people are just thinking about their individual, about themselves earlier. Oh, I went out.
Right.
Okay, you came back. They're saying that the people will say, but I think about my family. I care about my kids. They're saying you only care what's right in front of you, which is, again, caring about just the individual. Yes, you care about them, but you don't care about the young boy who lives far away from you.
Right.
Who may be suffering from your choices. And they're saying,
that is hard for us to have that conception. Yeah, right. Because it feels abstract.
Right.
That boy doesn't mean anything to me personally, because we're not at that total collectiveness yet.
Right. And they're saying, and you should not feel bad for that. You simply just are not there yet, and you shouldn't feel awful about it. But they're letting us know to bring it to our awareness so that we can work on it.
It's a seed planted. I get that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And they're saying, do you love humans? It's like, we do. We love humans. They said we find them very patient beings for the time they are given. I don't know what they mean by that. They're saying for the short amount of time that you're given, you retain a lot of information. I think they're talking about how short our lifespans are.
Lifespan is,
and how much we learn in such a short amount of time and how we're able to withstand that. They're saying
okay.
They said, yeah, something like that.
Okay. Well, we hear all the time from Spirit, what heroes we are to come to Earth and live this life. And I really do think it's jam-packed full of experiences.
It is. And such a... It's like you're taking the crash course.
Exactly.
They found that funny. It's so cute when they laugh. It's kind of like they make a little noise, but they kind of like move their bodies a little bit. It's like it's
God, I wish I could see them. You'll have to do. I know we have the video, but I want you to do your best drawing.
They can't stay still for too long. No, they always got to be. They'll move from one leg to another. Kind of like a sway.
Funny.
Kind of thing. Like they can stay still for like a second or two, but they got to be moving.
They're so kinetic.
It keeps their blood going. And it makes sense because how their body responds is they have a lot of body language. Even though they're telepathic, you would think they would be able to stay still and stuff. No, you have a lot of nonverbal cues.
Interesting.
And they said it keeps their blood flowing. If they were to stop moving, they were to die. So it's just natural for them to keep moving. Just like it's natural for your brain to tell your heart to keep beating or to breathe.
Okay. And I want to talk about that video that, we've seen. I showed my husband today. Were you aware that you would be caught on film and how do you feel about that?
They're saying it was not something we were going for, but it is something we are pleased to have happened.
Okay, that's cool. It had some silver linings at the end, huh? Because here you are.
Yes.
On our very fancy Stardust
Nobody
show.
would talk to us. They're saying that in the past we have since lost more touch with nature since then. And I think they're talking about Native Americans, things like that.
Did you interact like on a face-to-face basis with humans at some time in our history?
Yes. Wow. Although they were frightened of us, more of the contact were based on sending gifts. to one another and with those gifts for messages.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But now we can talk to you directly in
Yeah.
a non-physical way, so it is less fearful for you guys. And they don't mind working with us in that way.
Yeah, we're ready for these guys.
Yeah. They're really
Okay.
nice. They're super sweet, very collective hive mind. So it kind of seems like, to some humans, it kind of seem like they're not super emotional because they're just so calm all the time. But they are. They have emotions.
Okay.
They feel love and things like that. But it's not just love for just for the people they know, like their families. Everyone's their family to them. So it's
Right.
like love for everything.
That'd be
including
really
us.
interesting. You know, we can understand it on like an intellectual level, but we really can't understand it entirely.
Yeah.
What it feels like to have that collective.
Can you back
Yeah,
up a
it's
little
trippy.
bit? Okay. Sorry, they were making...
Mine's getting fuzzy too.
Yeah, they get a little closer and a little... They're so fucking cute. Oh my god, I want to hug one. I want to hug one so bad. They say we welcome hugs. We can hug. So we just do not have arms for you to hug us with.
I'll squish you then.
How do you move things then? With their mind. They move things with their mind. That's fucking weird. I never met an ET that can do that.
I'm inviting you to come move my stuff around right before my very eyes. Wouldn't that be cool?
They use their feet, and they're showing me how they move, how they operate their spacecrafts. They tap on their feet. You know, it's kind of reminds me of like Dance Dance Revolution, the way their feet and stuff, and they push on the buttons. Everything's on the floor for them.
There you go.
Yeah, or like they'll have like a control table that they can look at, but they control it from their feet on the floor.
Okay. So trippy. So interesting the way there's so many different ways of doing things and, you know, existing and bodies and all that.
It's like
I have no concept of it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like their whole floor is like a touch screen.
Like a workspace, huh?
Yeah. It's interesting. Not every part of the floor, but there's certain areas where it's like a touch screen and they can touch it with their feet and they slide things over and yeah, it's great.
What does your homes look like? Do you live in a tree or what are your dwellings?
I found that so funny. Their laugh is so weird. It's like, oh, or something like that. You know, like, I don't know.
Yip, 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 yip. Just kidding.
Anyway, they're so cute and they wobble their heads and they're laughing.
Oh.
No hair, by the way. It's just all this bald head. What's your home planet looks like? They're saying we have many home planets.
Well, I meant here, but you can keep going. Like, what does their house look like on Earth?
We live underground.
Okay.
You live underground? In our spaceships. We implant them underground.
There you go. They just dig a hole, move right in, cover it back up.
Exactly.
There you go.
And so if we need to leave, if we ever choose to leave, or if we need to move, we can just move the spacecraft and it does no damage to the planet itself and it'll go back to its normal state.
Oh, you guys are so smart.
Yeah, say everything we do, it makes it so we don't leave a footprint.
Leave no trace.
Yep.
Good for you. Okay, so I'm reluctant to let you go. Let me keep you a little bit longer. Tell me about your home planet or another planet, a different one that you live on.
Our whole planet, our original planet is very dense. It's very thick. The air is full of smog to you. But for us, this is how we breathe. We prefer it higher up in your mountains because it's similar to our air, although it's much clearer. All I'm seeing is like green. It's like a green mist that constantly covers the sky.
Wow.
Like our air is clear, but theirs is a green color. So their air is just green. Is it like a swamp? Okay, yes. They're saying it's like a swamp where they live in. Not like your swamps on Earth where there's a lot of water. It's just very thick, humid. The trees our trees. They're very veiny. They're not like a solid tree trunk. It's like many thick vines grow and intertwine each other.
Wow.
Yeah.
Trippy. That's cool. All right. I don't know what to do. I don't know if I should keep asking them. I feel like they want to go. Am I
They're
wrong?
saying we want to go.
Okay.
They're like moving it farther and farther away, and they just don't want to, like, they're saying, "Are you done yet? Are you done yet?" And they keep
Oh,
moving.
thank you for letting me keep you a little bit longer, Yip Yips. Thank
You're
you so
welcome.
much for letting us know that you are real and the beautiful message that you gave us and for offering to help us and already helping us.
They're
So
saying not,
thank you.
yeah. They're saying not all things of us is real, and I think they're talking about how some people keep making videos or
Okay.
talking about them. Some things people say about them, some stories aren't real.
Okay.
Okay. Bye for
All right.
now.
Hi, Yip Yips.
Okay, the next person we're going to talk to
Yes.
on our list, for fuck's sakes, I'm already nervous. I got, like, my little inner child is screaming. I might cry.
Yes. You can't cry. Do you remember what future you said?
I
Future
don't know. I
me?
get tearful, okay? I can get.
She's like, my face is scrunching up, but there's nothing coming out.
I can cry. Okay. I must have been dehydrated that day. We're going to. I'm fucking nervous.
I know you are. It's okay. I'm right here, way over here.
We're going to channel a gray being, and there's many different types of gray beings, and not all the same. Each have their own culture. They each come from, like, different planets, and they have their own spaceships, their own technology, their own ethics and morals and missions and things like that. So they're not all the same. So a lot of people like to all plot them in as all being bad, and I mean, for me, there is no good or bad. There only just is. And it's our egos and our judgments that say things are bad, because what's bad for us may be deemed as good for someone else. It's just our perspective. But I want to talk to the grays that used to abduct me when I was a child and all throughout my teens and part of my adult years. They're the ones that the people call the bad ones. They're the ones that President Eisenhower made a deal with and said,
right.
Trade technology with us and you can abduct anyone you want without question. Within the United States. But I'm sure there's,
right.
They expanded beyond that since then. And they do experiments, and they're just...
Is this the same one? Remember, and Sam was like so nervous when we found out that my husband had a concurrent incarnation of a
Those
gray.
are the same ones.
And yeah, and so my husband, because I was...
Yeah.
So, and my husband kind of taps into that personality sometimes, because I was like, is my husband crazy? Because one day he says this and the next day he says this. And the message I got was that he taps into that other alien, and that's why he becomes like more rigid and more like by the book and less squishy. Because I was like, what is going on? Because I was so busy being crazy, I didn't notice this. But when I calmed down, I was like, he's a little off. So that's why, is that he has another concurrent incarnation as a gray. And he was around for Heather, and Sam was feeling very uncomfortable with that energy near you, being very sweet and protective. Okay, so let's talk to these guys and find out what their interest was with you.
Yeah, because it'll bring me closer too. There's still some things I've suppressed, but there's things I remember.
Tell us.
I had this fear. It's still with me, even though I know it comes from this experience. I have the fear of the full moon. Because when I was a child, I know.
Sorry.
Growing up,
the werewolves. I'm just kidding.
Werewolves. No, growing up, there would be my blinds would be open where my crib was placed. I was like 2 years old, and I can remember this. It was just creep. Yeah. My blinds would be open, and it was a full moon, and it just came into my room through the window, and I thought it came in through the moonlight. And I thought it was the full moon that allowed them to travel. So that's why I was so afraid. I'm like shaking right now. So we're going to talk to a spirit form of one who was incarnated as one, but is no longer alive as one. That's so interesting.
Why are you choosing spirit rather than an incarnated one? Just for more perspective?
One, for my safety, but because I don't want to think I want them coming back. Two, it's to allow for more of a bigger picture view that only a spirit can give you.
Right.
It's from a spirit perspective, and I feel like...
Excellent. I love that. That was such a good idea.
people can benefit from it a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't want people thinking it's okay to go channeling these beings. Not that I believe anything bad can happen to you, but if you're going to open yourself up to it, then you're going to allow for it to come towards you.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we're going to talk to the bad grays, I guess. But
Okay.
our hope is to find out that they're not so bad. And it's just our human perception of what bad is.
Okay, let's do that. Are you trans channeling this one? Or are we
Oh,
talking? I
hell
have no idea.
No, thank you.
All right, so do you have one?
Yeah, my spirit team said they would bring him in right when I'm about to do it.
Okay.
Okay. So he's backed himself up a bit because he's showing himself as one, and he knows I have this like
Right.
fear of seeing their face. So
Do you want to describe what he looks like at all, or
no,
what he's
I'm okay.
wearing or anything?
I'm okay. I don't want to. I don't
Okay.
want to look at him. Okay.
Fine.
He can show himself as something. He showed himself more human now. He's like, is this better? He said, I can be anything you want. Be a starfish. Showed himself as a little starfish. Okay. No, I'm seeing the starfish from like Finding Nemo. You know, with the little face. Oh,
Right.
Okay. No, he showed himself as human again. Okay. So I don't know what questions I have other than why. Why do you abduct humans?
Why did you abduct H? I've already said your name.
Yeah,
today.
but I think this plays into also why they abduct other people as well.
I know. I want both.
Why? I need to take a moment to just calm the fuck down. I'm like shaking.
Okay, go ahead and take a little breath. I'm gonna send you some sparkles over here while you do that.
Oh man, I'm gonna cry. Okay, so why do you abduct people? I'm not like in a good place right now. I'm all trying to laugh it off. This is how I deal with depression.
Go ahead,
Humor.
get giggly. Use your ways.
What's the benefit of abducting people and doing these experiments on them? Because I know they don't just do it with humans. They've been doing it with different species, and that's why the Sarsar went to war with them. He's saying we do it to collect data. Data of what? Of the species, to study them. We do not like to watch you. We don't find, because what they do, he's saying it they, as in he's not still one anymore. He's saying they don't understand why we do the things we do. They see it, but they can't understand the why. They can still ask us and still not understand why, because it's just completely opposite of how they think. They do not have sympathy. So unlike humans, where if someone were to explain their situation, someone would be like, oh, I can understand that if I were to put myself in your shoes. They don't have that capability. So their best way to do that is by studying you directly and studying your brain, how your body reacts to things. And they try different things. They put in different chemicals in people's bodies. They're not permanent chemicals. They wash away. I don't know how that happens, but he's showing me them. And this is why I have a fear of needles. They would poke me all the time with things and put things inside me, and it would make me react. Like, it'll make my arms swell up. And then they would have my head in this contraption thing. Oh, thank you, Sam. They'd have my head in this contraption thing to study how my brain processes it. But they still can't understand how our brain functions and why it functions the way it does.
Why does it matter to you guys? I mean, what
it is our sole mission to understand different species. It is what you could say that we find fascinating, because they do so in a way that is apathetic. They do not care if they harm us, because for them, the ultimate good to them is acquiring data. That's what's good to them. But they don't have any concept of good or bad. He's just using our verbiage to help us understand. And he's saying, and they just don't have a good or bad perspective. They don't think things are right or wrong. Things are either logical or illogical. Everything is very black and white for them. And
So it's okay, because that's kind of helping me. I'm wondering then how do they get along? Maybe because there's not emotion involved. You
right,
don't
there's no
have like
emotion
fighting
involved.
and stuff. You know, you don't
Exactly.
get hurt feelings or whatever. Okay.
They're saying they have no emotion. The only emotion they would have is the want to find data. And
Okay.
and they're saying that they find that creating the hybrids helps them, not them, but the future generations understand that species better, which is part of why they're making them.
Okay.
Which I think is smart. So many people are saying it's just to help them get over whatever ailments they have or limitations they have, which he says is also true. It's to they're saying they have learned because they've been alive for so long that if you interbreed with your species, saying humans are nowhere near there, but there comes a point where breeding within your own species is no longer logical to help
Okay.
expand your species and keep it alive longer. You start to
Huh.
go backwards.
Okay. Wow.
And they don't breed like we do because they have no sex organs. They've surpassed that. And so what they do is it's very impersonal. They just extract the egg, they take what they need, and they put it together.
Okay. Gosh, how boring.
Exactly. So they say it's illogical to argue because it leads you to nowhere for them. That's
Yeah.
why they do not argue. They've surpassed emotions. They used to have emotions, but they surpassed them because they found them illogical.
God, they're like living computers.
Exactly. They're
Like
living
they're,
computers.
huh.
So
I
they're
wonder what.
saying, he's saying you perceive them as bad, but they are not bad, no more than you are good.
So
And
it's like saying my computer is bad. It's not.
exactly,
It's just delivering information or computing
exactly,
it or whatever. Huh.
exactly. And how they go about it, you may find unethical, but to them, it's the most logical way. And they just don't perceive things as good or bad. It's just not within their
I
brain.
see how ethics and logic don't always meet eye to eye. That makes
And they're
sense.
saying that's a logical way of thinking because they'll say, he's saying, think from their perspective for a second because you have the capability of doing that. You have so many issues with morals and ethics and they combat each other from different
Yes.
humans to other humans and you make no progress. Your progress is very slow. So for them, it's
Okay.
illogical to have that and they don't understand why you don't just stop it and just go with what's the most logical choice. Some people allow their emotions to get the best of them, whereas they don't. They have no
Okay.
emotions, so they have no capability of being able to sympathize.
I'm going to use the example of the Sarsar about how they just don't, they choose to not have like children with disabilities. They just terminate it. And how a human would like wrestle with that decision. But logically speaking, it makes the most sense. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
so that's an example. Let me ask, I don't know his name, Gray Man. What kind, from a spiritual perspective,
Call me whatever you want. And I'm like, Fred.
Fred. Okay, I have a really quick funny for you because you said, ready, Freddie. And I was going to say, who the fuck is Fred? Now I know.
It's Freddie.
He's Fred.
He's Fred.
Okay, Freddie, are you ready for this? From a spiritual perspective, what kinds of observations or whatever, what kind of
Learning.
knowledge, insights does
He's
God
already
discover?
answering it before you
I
finish because
know.
he already
Slow
knows.
down, pony.
He
Go.
already knows what you're trying to say. He says, from that lifetime, you're learning how to step out of your emotions and observe things from. He's saying it's very much like an aerial point of view without any reference to what's going on. No, there's no context. And he's saying, and there's a great benefit to that because you're learning, and this is something it's more of having an experience that you can take into another lifetime, which I've had a lifetime as a gray, the same type of gray before. And I find that a lot of their, you can call it philosophies, stay with me in this lifetime, where it's just sometimes you don't perceive things as right or wrong. You don't perceive things as good or
You and
bad.
I are really trying to get to that place. It just is. We're really trying to
Right.
get to that place.
It just is, and that's how they view everything. There is no judgments, not even on their part. They
Okay.
don't see even and here's something he's saying that you might find positive. They don't see humans as an inferior race. There is no inferior race. There's only
Okay.
just races as who and what they are.
Interesting. I'm going to make a judgment in that I like the way that they are non-judgmental.
Right. So you
That's
can,
cool.
and humans would perceive that as good. They're
I found a
not
silver
judgmental.
lining to
Right.
their lack of sympathy and compassion.
There you go. See, there's the silver lining. He's saying that that's something you gain from that lifetime, something you cannot gain as a human. You can try your whole life to do it, but it's part of human nature to have that ego, to have those emotions. As long as you're an emotional being, you will have judgment.
Is Heather still getting abducted and she's still getting poked with needles?
No, he's saying no. She ended that contract.
Good for, yeah, you got the power to just change that shit.
I just
That's
decided
so cool.
I'm done. And this was the first time I ever met an extraterrestrial without, well, no, that's not true, but anyway, I had seen a gray human hybrid. I had woken up and I was scared shitless because I was just kneeling there by my bed, and there was no device being used. There was nothing to make me feel calm or feel like it was a dream. Sam, he's so cute. He's putting his
What's
hand on
he
my shoulder.
doing?
He keeps putting his
Hi,
hand on my
Sammy.
shoulder and has such a look of sympathy. Anyway, and I thought, because I was Catholic, I thought, oh my God, this is a demon coming to possess my body, you know.
Poor baby, that was scary.
And he found that funny, and he smiled, and he said, no, I'm mortal just like you. And I said, okay, what are you doing here? And he said, I've come to take you somewhere. And that's all I remember. That's all I remember. But I was there plain as day. I saw him right there just as I would see anyone else, you know, and I was just fucking scared.
Yeah, I don't have any of those experiences. That's good. I don't want to be afraid. I'll stay ignorant before I stay afraid.
And he had this he had like human skin, but it was like a gray tint to it. And he had all black eyes. His eyes were entirely black. And you could see the white if he looked all the way to the left or all the way to the right. But that was it. It was creepy.
Well, Freddie, do you have anything that you could say that might, I don't know, Heather still suffers from so much anxiety, and probably some of that is stemmed from that. How do you think she might go about helping that? Is her hypnosis helping?
He's saying it is. And he's saying, I'm talking from a spirit perspective. He's saying that a lot of people benefit from these experiences because they're helping these grays to understand, because they are too part of the collective, and what's going to end up eventually happening with this information they're going to give, because they are not against us. They're not against anybody. They're not even, they don't even really have a hive mind.
They just love data.
They love data, and they're all in on the same thing. And they know eventually they'll surpass that. They're so smart and so evolved that they know when they're going to, he said self-awareness, not evolved. They're so self-aware that they know when they're going to eventually surpass this need to just collect data. He's saying that their benefit is that they know there's a lot of people that don't like them, but they're still going to share the knowledge they've learned with other people, and it's going to greatly, this is going to be when humans have gotten to the point of having open contact with extraterrestrials, with the entirety of this human species, not just the government and things like that.
Stardust.
And they're going to share the information they had about all species, and it's going to greatly help so many different species who are going to go traveling, and it's like a guide to help you know where to go, who to interact with, and how to interact with them. It's just like a spreadsheet of like, this species, you know, they breathe this type of air. This is how they respond to this stimulus. You know, it's going to be very like factual.
That's what Beautiful Mistress is doing too. She's going to collect all that data and bring it to our Sarsar. Interesting.
Yeah. So, but they've gotten way farther than Mistress has. That's what he's saying. Because they've been doing this forever. And
I haven't even started yet. Just kidding.
And so that's how it's going to greatly benefit the collective, because they are part of the collective and they know they are. But they just don't understand how other people don't see that, because all they see is them doing bad things.
Well, you know, I never had a fear of them because I've never had an experience. But I am hoping. How do you feel? Do you feel a little bit less fearful? Because that's the reason we do these videos, is to make people feel better about things. How are you feeling now that you get Freddie's perspective
Well,
on it?
no, I understood that the whole time. I just, I still got, the feelings I need to work through.
Okay. Yeah, I get that too. We say all the time, just because you know something does not mean you get to skip the process of the feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's also saying they just do what they need to. They do what's the most logical.
So do you ever remember, Heather, besides getting a pinprick, which I know sucks, but it's not the end of the world, did you ever experience painful things? Did they hurt you? Because, you hear horror stories about like scary experiments, like surgical stuff. Do you have any memories like
Yeah,
that at
the
all?
needles hurt. Yeah. Just mostly the fear,
You're just a
and it
baby.
felt very uncomfortable. I was just uncomfortable, and I
High
remember,
anxiety, yeah. Just even for a regular blood test, it's scary.
yeah. No, they wouldn't, but they would do other things to other people. It depends on what they wanted from you. But the more emotional grays, the ones that are human hybrids, those are the ones that I would think are the way more dangerous.
Ah.
Because they can feel emotion, and most of the time they're just fucking angry. So it's like,
Why are gray hybrids
well,
angry?
that's my judgment.
Okay, okay.
I don't know
Maybe.
if they actually feel angry, They're just like that typical evil bad guy to me. To me,
Okay.
though, but I, didn't have a very good experience. Um, yeah, yeah.
Well, you know what? I know that that's how you feel about him, and I know why. So I have to give you props for wanting to take this journey and know that there's always another side to the story.
There is. There always is. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I learned that lesson when I was like junior high, when I was like 13, and
Uh-oh. What
girls were
happened?
like talking shit about me behind my back, and a bunch of people believed them. And I'm like, there's always two sides to every story. Why are you just following that person's side? Because
Mm-hmm.
because she started talking shit, and I'm not even talking shit, and I'm getting shit on. When I was 13, I learned
See,
about
that prepared you for this day.
it. Did the whole idea of gossiping. When someone tells me, "Oh, so and so is bad," and blah blah blah, it just dies right there with me. I'm like, I'm not gonna. I don't fucking
I'm not
care.
going to entertain your nonsense because I know better. I've been on the flip side or the
Right.
receiving
And
end of that
I'm
nonsense.
surprised there's people in their 50s who still never learn that. Or they're 60
Isn't
years
that
old or
trippy?
30 years old. They have children who probably deal with that kind of bullying, and they're still participating in it. And that always
I
surprises me.
know. You always think that at some point you become an adult, but the reality is, I'm like almost twice your age, but we're so at the same place in many ways. You like top off. I mean, you can still learn and stuff, but you don't ever become this other person. Like, you get to some point where your parents, you realize they're just people like you and I are. They're not
Right.
these all knowing, wise beings. They're just
Right.
muddling their way through life like the rest of us. So I
Yeah.
don't know where that was going, but
Yeah, I know. Where the fuck we were talking about? We got into gossiping. Anyway, I don't pay
to the
attention to gossip.
stupid girls in school.
If you don't, if you gossip to me, just know that it dies right with me. They say, a gossip dies at a wise man's ears. That's what they say. So,
Perfect.
yeah.
All right. Well, Freddie, do you want to share anything else with us that would, bring comfort or inspiration or something? Because we're kind of, we're a little bit shiny around here.
He's saying, I know what you're all about. And he's like, that's why I
Ah,
volunteered to do this. He's
you
saying,
got the good job.
just know I only had just one lifetime as one, and that's not who I am. I'm not defined by that lifetime. I'm defined by all of them, and I take in all of them. He's saying, I'm showing myself as human from one of my human lifetimes. He's he's like, he's joking. He's saying my name was Freddie in that lifetime, but he's kidding.
You better be kidding, because that'd be too funny.
Um, anyway, he's saying that some positives you can take from this is knowing that they're just have a different perspective.
Wait. And another thing I want to add, Freddie, is this the truth that all of these people that are having these experiences, they kind of chose it?
Yeah, he's saying he was getting to that. Yeah, he's saying the people, you own your own power. You can always choose to stop your contact at any time, and they will respect that. They're not going to be like he, and
I
like
know. Too
keep
bad you're
doing it.
mine.
Yeah.
Right.
Sam doesn't agree with that. He's saying my people told them to stop, and they didn't. And they said, well, if it's illogical to stop, then they won't stop. So it's kind of like,
That was a little mixed message right there,
yeah.
wasn't it? Okay, well,
But
elaborate on that, Freddie.
he's saying, I was talking about on an individual level. Usually
Okay.
giving one human up is not going to
Okay.
greatly, because they view all of us as the same. And he's saying, and that could be where they go wrong. He's like, wrong. And he goes like this with a check mark. Um, wrong, but assuming we're all the same. Because we're
So when
not.
Sam says leave him alone, that's too blankety. The one person needs to tell them leave me alone.
Yes.
Is that kind of okay?
Yes, he's saying, tell them to leave you alone. Tell them, because they know about spiritual contracts. It's not that they have an emotional attachment to that information. They just know they exist. They're like, this is a thing that exists. That is it. That's all. And so they're saying, once that is terminated, there is no spiritual basis. There is no logical reason to continue, because they know it's part of collective. And how humans view spirituality, he's saying, is separate from them. So they think of someone being spiritual as being advanced. It's not. They are spiritual beings first and foremost before they are grays. So you would think they're so highly evolved enough that they still feel that spiritual sense, even when they're incarnated, because you're first and foremost a spiritual being. And he's saying, and I like that you girls teach that, because so many people forget that along their journey.
Thank you.
And he says that it just doesn't make sense to give up learning about a species when it can benefit the collective.
Okay. So when people are these abducting experiences,
step back a little bit?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Step back a little bit. Okay. Go.
Okay. So people like you, did Heather like contract to help collect everybody, all of the species, by choosing to have this? So it's like an experience that you're doing, kind of like a public service, in other words, because you didn't enjoy it. So
no, well, I mean, I thought it was like exciting too. I thought it was okay. It was a mixed emotions, like I said. It's traumatic, but I think it's also badass and cool, because how many people can say they've been abducted?
I know. Okay,
I can.
Makes sense.
You know,
I get it. Okay, so
because that's my own silver lining to it, I guess. But he says that it's people who have agreed to it, and most of those people were grays themselves in other lifetimes, and they agreed to it. And they agreed to be part of their mission still, even as a different species. So a lot of them are not hurting humans. Sam does not like this at all, what I'm saying. Sorry. He's
just translating.
Yep, don't shoot the messenger. They're saying that, so a lot of the species, like not just humans, but different species they take, were grays once themselves, and they had already agreed to help further expand their knowledge before they even ended their contract, their lifetime as a gray, and before they incarnated again.
So I want to reiterate, we got echoey, that you have your own power. It doesn't necessarily even have to be in this life, but everybody's choosing these experiences, so you don't have to play that victim part. These words that we're telling you now, use them as tools. You have the power. If you don't like what's going on, then you stop it.
Exactly. You can. Nobody, it goes against your free will if they just continue. If you don't want it, you end it. They're spiritual beings too, just like you are. As much as you don't want them to be, as much as you don't believe they are, they are. They're souls. They're souls in those gray bodies, and those souls come from the same place that we do. So they will get that contract has been terminated, and it'll just end naturally. So.
And Heather, you're like the most powerful one, because you have figured it out. And I don't know if I've like necessarily consciously changed my path. I know you've changed my path plenty of times, though.
Well, because you allow me to. That's why.
I'll just go along for the ride. Heather won't steer me wrong. Yeah, that's true. That is true. I know that I have as much power as you do if I choose to use it. I'm not exactly sure how. I guess just through thoughts and intentions. But I like my journey, so I'm sticking with it. And I'll take your little detours. I'll go anywhere with you.
Yeah, so I just decided, I remember sitting on my bed, and it was when I lived in LA, and I'm like, I'm done with this. This is over. I'm done. That was all I needed to do, and it was done. It was over. Of course, because I was Catholic at the time, you know, I called in Archangel Michael, because that's my saint that I've been dubbed to. That's a whole different Catholic thing. So anyway, but yeah, it just ended like that.
Okay.
So
Okay, and we can all end it. If you're not enjoying it, don't be a victim.
just be like,
change it.
Fuck it, I'm done. Yeah, no one's a victim. You're a victim if you want to be, but you're only a victim.
You're also choosing to be a victim.
Right. You're only a victim to yourself. And I didn't say that. I think that was someone else because that doesn't sound like me.
Yeah, and I don't mean to make things sound so easy because, I went through a lot of hell for a long time. It's baby steps to get out of those victim-y places, but, it's not an overnight thing.
Exactly.
So don't get whiny if it doesn't happen tomorrow. Keep working on it.
He said, thank you, girls. Freddie.
Thank you, Freddie. That was cool.
If you need anyone else to channel, he said, I've been all sorts of people.
Really? Drop a name. Were you a famous human?
He says, somewhat. I was a king long forgotten. He said.
Aww.
He said, before King Arthur. Was King Arthur even real?
He was. I talked to him on Shiny. Okay. It was a real deal. There were some legends around it, but he was real.
Did King Arthur have a brother? Because he's saying he was his brother or something.
I don't know. We'll have to figure. I don't remember. It's so long since I talked, but we'll figure that out.
Yeah.
Did you meet either of us in any other incarnation anywhere? Are we old friends?
He says no, but I want to. So.
I know. I don't blame you.
Yeah, he says, until next time, ladies. And he knows that we like to flirt, so he kind of winked at us. He says, until next time.
All right, big boy. See you next time.
He says, if you need me to be any bad boys, any bad guys, I'll do that for you so you feel safe and still get the perspective of that. Because he says, I've been everything, almost everything.
Oh, okay. I say it all the time. I like to find the light behind the dark.
So we'll call on Freddie if we need to talk to, anything else.
All right, like Freddy, like Freddy Krueger is going to be our bad guy.
Right. He goes, all
right, Freddy. So thank you for today.
Yeah.
I'll see you next time.
Okay. So
now you and I have a little bit of business.
Yes,
exciting business.
This is a long ass video. I'm hungry. All right, so let's hurry this up because I need to eat.
Me too.
So we have, first and foremost, I have Stardust Boxes still. I stopped promoting them and stuff, so they're kind of just sitting. And
look at what a difference it makes when you promote versus when you don't promote, because they were selling.
Yeah, really quickly.
We got to get back on that. Get your damn Starbucks boxes. They're so awesome. Don't you realize how cool Stardust is? And this is an original first-time Stardust box full of loot that H created herself. It's got all kinds of neat stuff in it. And everybody that bought one has raved about it. And it was such an exciting treat for them to get in the mail.
Exactly. Ew. I loved making them. So I made, there's homemade soaps in there. There's bracelets I made. The soaps, either they come from Celestial Chaos, right? She makes the soaps. Or I use this company and I told them what to put in the soaps and they made them for me. So everything's made from scratch. There's nothing, I use local and small companies because I wanted to, that's why it's expensive because, they charge more. So I need to, charge more for the boxes.
Yeah. You got pendies? What's in there? Mug, pendy, what else?
We got mugs, which were donated to us from Brenda. And we got the Stardust t-shirts in there. There's a Stardust bracelet. There's also a pendulum that I made. Everyone's going to get a pendulum.
And you made the bracelet too?
I made the bracelet.
See, it's got all your love in it. That's enough just to buy the whole box just for her bracelet full of love.
Exactly. And then there's a card. There's a personal card that goes in each of them that I write. I write you a little letter saying thank you. And I put the signatures of Sam, Avery, and Gwyneth. Also our signatures on it.
Mine too. Yep. You can have my autograph.
But I think it's so cool that they get to have a Sarsar name on a card.
Me too. I just found yesterday, and I was cleaning I had this big old party over here, but it was one of the pendulum charts, and I was like, why are these out here? Why is this here? And I flipped it over. On the back, it said, hi, I love you. And it was Avery that wrote it when he was,
it's so cute.
In your body. So yeah, I got a love message from my man. So that is cool that they wrote it. And
you can find about those boxes on our website, the Stardust website.
And what
And
else is in that Stardust website? What other important information?
the Stardust event, which is coming up in April. I'm so fucking excited about it. Oh my God, Sam and I got plans. We got plans for
Do you?
days about,
Wow.
so the last time we went to the event, I was talking to Sam. Everyone was asleep. I think it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. Everyone was just dead asleep. And I was talking to him in the master bedroom that I had by myself. And I was like, can you knock on the door or something? And I heard, can you hear that? It was like that on the window. It was like he was running his fingers across it. And it was in it. I wasn't talking too loud that anyone outside that room would be able to hear me and then knock. It wasn't from inside the house, it was from outside. So he was
But
standing
you
outside.
had an outside door. Yeah,
Yeah.
that bedroom had a door to the outside.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, and nobody was outside. Everyone was
Yeah.
asleep. So it was him, and he knocked on the door, and it was the most amazing experience I ever had with him. And I'm not going to say that's going to happen for everyone, but I am fucking stoked to go out to the desert again, to have him knock on that fucking window. That's all I want is just a knock, and then I can die happy, you know.
Aw. Well, the only thing I've planned for that is that I know I need to get myself some cute pajamas because it's going to be a slumber party, a pajama party.
Oh, that's right. I have to buy my onesie. I have to buy my onesie pajamas.
Me too. I got to go check. Well, I don't know. That foot might bother. I'll have to cut one foot out. But I want to get some cutie one-zippered onesie pajamas. I want to be a big, giant baby.
Big, giant
They're going to be
baby.
really soft. I'm going to pet myself all the time. I like soft things. So that's all I care about is wearing the pajamas.
And it'll be so much fun.
It is going to be fun. It was awesome last time. So awesome. And, you know, I keep saying this, that you fell in love with that house and stuff. And I was like, maybe we can find another one. But you're like, nope, that's the one.
That's the one.
But I'm looking forward to going to that same place too. And it's not the house so much for me, but just everything, just the landscape and the remoteness of it.
Yeah, and it's safer for the Sarsar. Yeah.
Yeah.
They can come out there, and they won't come in too close that you see them. But there's some people saying that they saw, like, their ship or something. I'm not sure. But we saw them running at night in their light-up suits out in the desert far away. So that was cool, too. So they'll do little, I think they'll probably do the same thing running around. They wanted to show off how fast they could run. So they went real quick. And there's no cars out there because we're on 9 acres. We're just on 9 acres, so it was just us. So there's no way there was a car. And it was great.
It was fun. So get your tickets, guys.
And I also want to put out a disclaimer. No one's going to be abducted during this event.
Even if you really, really want to.
They're not going to come in and appear in front of you during the day like that. And I know some people thought that and had that expectation and were really disappointed, and it just ruined the whole event for them. And I just don't want people going in with that expectation, because even I didn't see them. So I just had the knock on the fucking window. So, you know, just know that that's probably, they're not going to come abduct people. That's just not what they do.
But what we do is Heather Trance channel Sam, Gwenny, Avery. I don't know who else is going to show up to this party, but there'll be something there. So that's how we get our piece of the Sarsar. And so, you know, there's a forum of questions and answers, or, you know, Gwenny just wanted to party and Avery just wanted to do crafts. And beyond that, Heather and I both teach. And beyond that, even if nobody did nothing, it's a party. Because you're here with a room full of like-minded people. The vibrations are way up here. And because of that, you'll be able to just tune in to other things. And I know from my other events and being allowed to ask spirit, that it becomes kind of like a beacon. And so we get a bunch of spirit and aliens sensing our vibrations. So we're kind of being spied on in a good way, you know, they're like cheering us on. So I love that. I love being a wave maker in the galactic community too.
If you're staying at the house, you know, you have that comfort of you don't need to go anywhere, you know, so you can get fucked up if you want, like drink, you know, smoke, whatever, you know.
It's pajamas all weekend.
Yeah,
kids.
pajama already, like, it's just a huge sleepover and it's a lot of fun. So I encourage everyone who's thinking about it, try it. Just at least go, because one, I want to meet you guys.
Yeah, I love growing my family like that. I love it. These are family reunions on top of everything else we've just said.
Some people will think, oh, you just want the money. It's like, we don't really make any money from this.
We don't even charge that much. I charged over 3 times what we charged when I did Shiny. So this is a bargain. It's like 100 something for the whole weekend. I don't remember what we're doing.
It's
150 bucks
for the whole
like,
weekend.
yeah.
And then that includes your breakfast and your lunch. So you only have to worry about buying yourself dinner. But you're staying.
And even with dinner, we had just, here's Sarah, here's $10, make us a meal. So we can even do that or order in and we all just hang out. We don't even have to make that be fussy. We can figure out a collective idea. I'll go to a restaurant. That was fun. We're leaving that one open, that idea. We'll do a vote.
Okay.
There might even be like leftovers from lunches and stuff. Right. Remember how much food we end up having to just toss?
Yeah. So,
all right.
Yes, it'll be fun. So buy your tickets. The 10% discount's now over, but it's still pretty cheap. And yeah, if you guys need like a carpool from like the airport to the house, I'm renting a car because I can rent a car now because I'm 25
Yay,
now.
she's grown up now.
I'm an adult now. So yeah, I can rent a car. I'm so excited about that. And then
and H and I are actually going Thursday night. So I'll talk to you later about some of my hotel choices. So we invite everybody else to come a day early and just hang out. We did that last year. Went out to dinner. That was fun.
So
everything.
Anyway, but yeah, that's it.
All right, Sissy Pounce. Let's both go eat. We need foods.
Yes.
Okay, I love you, baby.
I love you too.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.